Guys, welcome back to another session of Salesforce. In this session of Salesforce, we'll be learning about workflow. So before that, let's make a note over the previous topic, which we forgot to mention a note of it, the space layout. So what is space layout? Let me copy this and make the necessary changes so that we don't waste our time over here. So displaying different user interface to different users. That's what we have done so far. So let's make a few more additional points. One profile can have multiple record types and one multiple page layout. So now let's get back to our topic right now, which is workflow. So what is workflow? It's nothing but automation of business process. So we are trying to automate the business process. Say for example, whenever an action is performed, you want another action to be performed depending upon the first action. So how many types of workflows are there? There are like two types. So what are they? One is immediate. Immediate action. Another one is time dependent action. So what is immediate action and what is time dependent action? So immediate action. So as the name suggests itself, you want the action to be performed immediately. So whenever there is an action that that is performed, you want a relevant action to be performed then and there on the spot. So for example, whenever a field is updated, you want the other field to be updated. On the Salesforce terminology, let's talk. So what is time dependent action? Time dependent, as it says, depends on the time. Like it's a future action. You do something right now and you expect the action to be performed in the future. So say for example, when it comes to Salesforce terminology, we created a lead and you want an action that is a reminder to be performed, but you don't want the reminder to be on the same day, right? You want the reminder to be as per the client's requirement. So the most of the clients, they say that call me over the weekend or call me on so and so date. So you want the action to be performed in the future. So that's nothing but time dependent action. So what all, we're talking a lot of words called action. So what all actions can be performed using workflow? So there are few actions that can be done. One is we can create a task. Next, email alert. And then next, outbound message. And then next, field update. And we also have existing action. That is, you want to perform an action based on your existing action. That is, you're based on your existing workflows. Alright, this is all is fine. So where does this workflow work? How does it work? So workflow will work in master detail. Only it works in master detail. So what all things can be done in this? So you can do all the actions, but you want to update a field in another related record. Say example, you want to update a child or a parent. That cannot be done. You can only update parent record from the child. Right. So now let's go to the dashboard and let's see where to find the workflow, how to activate and everything else. So how do you navigate to workflow? You click on setup, type in workflow here, you'll have workflow. Right. So prior to that, let's make a note of an action that we want to perform. So let's go to job applications, click on new. Alright, in the job application, we have two fields, which is region and the other field is country. So whenever the region is APAC, I want the country to be updated to India. Now let's see how to perform this action using workflow. Alright, let's go scroll down a bit, click on continue. Right, click on new rule. What is the related object that we want to perform on? That is job application. Click on next. A field name that you want to give. So basically what we're trying to do is you're trying to update the region. Else let's say country up field, country update. Country field is been updated. Now we have spoke of a lot of things prior to taking a look into what workflow is all about. Now we can see here we have an evaluation criteria and something called as rule criteria. What is evaluation criteria? Evaluation criteria is nothing but we are trying to evaluate the action to be performed when is the action should be performed. So with their Salesforce has provided us with few things like created and every time it's edited, created and anytime it's edited to subsequently meet the criteria. So you must be confused why there are the two times created and every time it's edited. So if we can click on here, see there is a pop-up which says that you cannot add any time trigger over here. That is that you cannot do any time dependent actions here. So that's the reason what Salesforce has done is Salesforce has also given us an option called as created and anytime it's edited to subsequently meet the criteria so that we can perform the time dependent action here. So basically based on the business scenario and your logic, you'll be choosing a criteria when it should be fired, like when it is created or when it is just created and it is edited, or whenever it is created and edited to meet the criteria. So what is created and edited to meet the criteria? Let's take an example, job position. So you must be having a lot of positions. So whenever a position is closed, see when we create a position, it will be an open status, and then you will have a lot of status. Depending upon your business logic, you'll be having too many various different states. So let's say that we have opened a position and then the position is fulfilled, so we have closed the position. So when the position is closed, you want to send an email to the manager stating that the position in the company has been closed. See, that means that we are trying to meet the criteria there. There are a lot of changes. So first the stage will be open, it was approved, and then waiting, and then it comes to closed. So finally we are trying to meet the criteria and trying to fire the action there. Alright, so you can choose when it is done. So for the time being I'm selecting created and every time it's edited. Or else I'll select created for now, and then in the next example we'll check into different things. Now coming down, you have rule criteria. So what is rule criteria? Basically you have to perform an action. So to perform an action you have to give it a meaning. What is meaning? Now what meaning in sense what you want to perform. See here you have a bunch of fields. So what we have decided is that whenever the region equals, see as is a pick list value, that there is a lookup value over here, APAC, you want the action to be performed. But you can see here this is a pick list value. You also have something called as formula evaluates to be true. Here you can write a formula. You have a bunch of functions here. You can insert any functions depending upon the logic. You have insert fields. See, check the fields. You have a lot of fields here. You can select a field. You have insert operators. You have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, whatnot. Everything is here. For the time being, let's take a look into create, well, like the criteria are met. So that this is a simple way of learning how to perform the workflow. And then later on, once we get to know how to perform validation rules, like writing formulas and all, we can use formula evaluates to be true and perform the action. So what to do next? I've written, I've given the workflow a rule name. I've chosen a evaluation criteria. I've also chosen a rule criteria when the role should be fired. Then what to do? Click on save and next. Once you click on the save and next action, see there's another window which says that immediate action and time dependent action. So immediate action, you can just click on actions over here, just add the action. For time trigger, time dependent, you have to add a time trigger. See, you have a lot of options here. You want it to be 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, your wish, days, hours, when the workflow rule should be for, action to be performed before or after, like rule trigger date, job application created date, or job application date, or job application last modified date. When you want this to be performed, you can select it depending upon your scenario. So we'll also take a look into all these things in the future examples. For now, let's create an immediate action. So as I've told you, we can create a new task, email alert, field update, outbound message, existing actions. Now what we're trying to perform is field update. We're trying to update a field. So what we are trying to do, we're trying to update the region. All right, let's take, no, let's give it something meaningful. Update field. We're trying to do a field update, so update field. So as I told you, this will work in master detail. I can see there's a relation between job application position. So position is a parent and job application is the child here. So that's the reason I can see the fields over here. So for now time being, we are only selecting job application because we are trying to perform a field update using job application field. See, you can also select the value above the current value, the value below the current value, or a specific value. You want it to be a specific value, right? So let's take a specific value to be India and save. Now our workflow is done, but it is not active. We have just written a rule, we have written a criteria, we have selected our action. Now what we have to do is we have to activate it. Until and unless you activate your workflow rule, this will not be working. So let's go to job application. Let's create test update amount, give it an now I'm selecting, now I'm not selecting the country here, I'll leave it to none. I'm just selecting the region to be APAC and MC. Just take a closer look. I haven't selected the country. I have to select a position as well. Save it. See, the country field is updated automatically. I haven't done anything. I've just taken the region. But in this action, what we have asked it to do is, whenever the job application region equals APAC, the field update action should work. That's what we've done. Now, see, there is another pop-up as well here, which says you cannot add any time triggers to an active rule. That means you cannot add a trigger if it is in an active stage. Alright, but immediate action will work even though if it's an active stage. Now let's create a task. So assign to, who do you want this assigned to? Basically, we'll only have this one. So we'll select Harsha Reddy. Subject, what is the subject? Reminder. Unique name is reminder. Due date, when do you want this rule to be date? So I'll say the job application date plus 10 days. So status in progress. So you can set status to be your wish. Priority level, whatever you want, you can select based on the scenario. And then save. So let's put it done. Now jump back to job applications, click on job application. Okay, click on new workflow test. Rule date. See, I'm not selecting a region as well here. Again, just to make sure you people check it once again. I'm saving it. See, in the open activities, I have a task which is created, which is reminder. Status is in progress. Priority level normal. Assigned to whom? Harsha Reddy, which is me. See, we have created a task as well. Now, alright. Sorry for the interruption. Alright. So we have created two things over here. We have created a task. We have done a field update. Alright. Now, let's also try to create an email. Add a workflow action. What do you want to do? You want to create an email alert. So before we are doing an email alert, we have to create an email, right? So that we can send. So go to setup, type in email. Under communications templates, you have classic email template. Click on new text. Select a field. Whom do you want to send it to? So who is that we want to send it to? So where is the jobs? Job application fields. Select the field. Email. Or else let's select the name first. I am unable to find a name field here. Okay. Now come down here. So the folder is public classic email templates. What is it that you want to do? It is a reminder. Reminder email. Unique name is reminder. Subject call reminder. Email body. Hi. And then I'm not typing anything, I'm just typing in test. Thanks. I'm saving it. Before that, you have to make sure you check this checkbox which says available for use. Alright, this is available for use right now. Now description. Email reminder, unique name will be the same thing. So we can select a template. What is the template that we've created? Is reminder. So who is the user that you want to integrate? As Harsha. If there are any additional emails that you want to add, you can add them here. Email for the current user email address. Save it. Right. Done. Jump back to job applications now. Click on new. Whenever you give an email, so this person will get an email right now. So based on our action. So test email ammo. See, I'm also creating and making sure I'm creating this again. So email. So what is the email that we have here? Let's take So that particular person will receive an email. So you can just check those things once you try to do it practically from your end. So in the next classes, we'll be looking into further examples of the workflow and what all things can be done using workflow. For now, we are done with the session. Thank you very much.